Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio. Brought to you by OnPay, Atlanta's new standard in payroll. Now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Atlanta Business Radio, and this is going to be a good one. But before we get started, it's important to recognize our sponsor, OnPay. Without them, we couldn't be sharing these important stories. Today on Atlanta Business Radio, we have Safir Monroe with UnDelay. Welcome, Safir.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for welcoming me, and I want to say hi to everybody that's listening.
Well, I'm excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us about UnDelay. How are you serving folks?
Oh, definitely. So at UnDelay, we reduce flight delays and improve ground efficiencies by converting a lot of radio transmissions into text to identify different maintenance issues, ground operations, problems, flight disruptions, and maybe some mechanical issues, and a lot of just runway congestion problems.
So what was the genesis of the idea? How did you know this was a problem worth solving?
Definitely. So I worked for Delta Airlines for several years. And then after I left, I just understood a lot of operations, definitely wanted to get back in the industry. So just with my background in mechanical engineering and software engineering, I definitely wanted to attack the problem. I worked at Delta as a web developer on Delta.com. So I understood a lot of the ins and outs of the entire system and technologies in aviation.
Now, is this a product that's sold to the airline individually? Is it sold to the airport? Who benefits the most from this, and who is the economic buyer of it?
Definitely. So we're focusing on medium-sized and smaller airports right now. So within a lot of problems at the airport, I'm sure you've been stuck in the airport before, and later in the night the concessions start closing, but the flight is delayed 2 or 3 hours. So everybody's just wondering where can they get food or something to drink. So we definitely want to service airports first to extend a lot of their concession hours to improve overall revenue at smaller airports. And with that, with advanced flight data statistics of like voice recognition and a lot of other plane sense information and flight stats, we combine those to kind of give the airport a more understanding of when to close concessions to increase concession revenue at airports.
So I didn't realize that the concessions were that tied into the, kind of the flight. So they know when the last flight of the day is, so they know when to call it and send their people home.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of you see a lot of airports like their schedules, some schedules like in about 6 p.m. their local time, but some are scheduled to close at the last departure of the day. But as we all know, there are so many different changes within different flight plans. And as well as the one delay could, disseminate over the entire airport network, so to cause multiple ripple delays. So with that, there's so many different changing factors. So we give a lot of statistics to show with these changing factors, we can update those flight plans more efficiently, and then give that information to different airport vendors.
So how is it done now? How do they know, what's going on right now? How
Definitely. So airport vendors, they currently refresh their flight statistics over and over again. Right, so they might get the schedule for the day, but to really understand what's going to happen during the end of the day, right? Because there's a lot of changes. They just look at the flight changes that they just give it to them from different flight feeds. Like you could search online like real time flight data, whatever carrier that you have, you'll see the actual delay. But with that, they want to know, where are the planes? Just more information on, because what they have right now is not enough to make a decision of if they should stay late longer. So with that, we want to give them more data to make that decision and more efficiently.
So how many airports are there? Are you talking about airports the size of Hartsfield, or are these the smaller ones like DeKalb or Charlie Brown?
Good. More like the ones that for small cities with Tulsa right now. Definitely small airports like Alabama, Huntsville, Mobile, Birmingham, cities like that. That's what we're targeting. Maybe around 20 or 30 gates. 15 or 10 gates. Just a good amount of operations that we can detect different flight statistics around, and we can increase the revenue. For. So the Tulsa airport, they made about $32 million of revenue and then $10 million of that were through concessions. And then with that, we want to increase the revenue by $1 million. So with that, we want to, just whatever concessions that are making up money, we believe we can increase that revenue. So whatever, how many operations the airport has and they have concessions, and they have enough operations to have this type of problem, those are airports we go target. And there are 17,000 airports worldwide, but there are 5,000 in America, and about a couple hundred that we're targeting right now in terms of like the medium, small size market. But as we go forward, we want to integrate with all different types of airports. But
so now your solution would send a text to the hamburger shop and saying, hey, this last flight's going to get in at 11 and not 10, so you may want to keep your people another hour?
Yeah, definitely. So we have a dashboard that just aggregates all the data and make that final decision. We're working with a company called Vault, which is a text-based system to where we can feed that text notification to different airport vendors to have that final output of saying, okay, this flight is going to be delayed an extra hour because we understand where the plane is, where the different planes are on the ground, and the operations that are taking place over voice. So we understand there's an issue, an engine issue here, a pushback issue here, operational failure here. So with all those statistics, we push out that final text to airport vendors or airport vendor managers.
Now, have you tested this? Is this operational somewhere in an airport somewhere, or is this kind of an idea at this point?
We're definitely in the second stages of a lot of airports. We're identifying different rooms. We place our technology as well as, we're setting up the systems and talking to a lot of officials. It definitely needs a lot of approval for different airports, but we're in advanced stages of talking to multiple different airports.
So you don't have it beta tested in the real world yet?
Yeah, no, we don't have a complete pilot project, but just from talking to different CEOs, CIOs, and executives, also TSA agents and managers at the airport, we just show them the business rules of what our data could do, and then a real-time feed. So we can take a lot of remote real-time feeds as well. So we just show them, and then also with being in certain cities, I can detect a lot of plane sensitive data as well. So then with that combined data, we just show them how this will have a final output. But let's say if they want a lot more data or a lot more outputs or a lot more predictions, we just integrate the receiver. So in terms of the business rules of what we can accomplish, that's already done. So they've tested that in the form of just looking at the dashboard or via API.
So you have it kind of conceptually agreed upon that this will solve a problem, and it just hasn't been all the way followed through into an actual airport where they're getting the text and they're actually seeing the actual what happens when you have this information. Are people really going to say, okay, stay another hour or two because there could be 50 people coming in?
Yeah, exactly. So we have conceptually and built out, but in terms of the everyday testing, not yet. Just a lot of airport, sometimes there's a lot of approval process within different airports.
Right, there's a lot of bureaucracy, I'm sure, to get this approved. Yeah. It's not the easiest thing. Now, how did you, you have an idea, and then you go through all these steps, and the politics and the bureaucracy is a nightmare just by itself. So did you do this on your own, or you have a co-founder that is a technologist, or what? How is the kind of the responsibilities divided up? Because just contacting the airports that's a job by itself, and then building an app or a software program or however you're going to do it, that's another challenge.
Yeah, definitely. So for me, the team is comprised of about 5 people. Me, I'm the CEO, co-founder. So my background is mechanical engineering, software engineering, as well as hardware. So I started the solution in the early stages, and now we have a CTO, a software engineer from Georgia Tech, co-founder Robin Mera. He's served in the aviation industry for about 30 years. He's held leadership roles for over 40 airlines worldwide. So he's a very extensive knowledge and background in the aviation space, as well as Daniel Cable, who's actually getting his PhD in aerospace engineering at Georgia Tech, and Brandon O'Keefe, which is just got on the team. He's the head of operations. So with our team, we have engineers as well as the people in the aviation space that really we all came together to really solve this problem. But the airports that we've got now have really been direct accelerators. So with the ACT House Accelerator sponsored by I2E and a lot of other foundations like Both and Tulsa, we're working with them to advanced operations in the Tulsa airport, as well as for the Bronze Valley Accelerator. We're working with the Alabama airports because Bronze Valley Accelerator is based in Alabama.
Now, are you bootstrapping this? Are you bootstrapping this, or you have investors at this point?
We do. So we raised to roughly $200,000 up to date to build this technology. One of our investors, very known in Atlanta, is Chris Clowes. So he's invented internet security and really believes in our product and helped invest in our company. Invested in our company.
So with him behind you, that gives you a nice jumping off point to get this thing done.
Yeah, huge, right? Because just the technology behind it, so like vast and complicated, and there's so many layers to it, to where you need a lot of investments to cover a lot of the airports, push out a lot of data. It's a very complex structure. So with that, that's why we are raising. We have raised a lot, and we still are raising to feed a lot of and cover a lot of these products from the hardware and software side.
Now, what do you need more of? How can we help?
Definitely the outreach. I mean, if you know any medium-sized, small airports, that can utilize technology, we have a lot on our map, but, we'd definitely like to just talk to as much airports as possible. We'll be going to Ireland in next month for the Future Travel Experience Expo. So any, European airports that want to talk to us, we'll be there pitching, as well as just any airports within the Georgia region, or like Florida, or South Carolina. We would love to have those conversations with the smaller airports.
Now, if somebody wants to learn more about UnDelay, where should they go? What's the website?
Oh, definitely. So the website is UnDelayApp.com. So UnDelayapp.com. So check it out. And also you can contact us at contact@UnDelayApp.com. So feel free to send us an email, a lead to the airport, or if you just want to understand more about it, feel free to contact us, and we'll definitely explain what we do in more detail.
Now, are you looking for more talent, or are you good from a talent standpoint?
Talent standpoint, we are good right now. We're really focused on just raising money to later have time, but really focus on pilots and just getting more airports on board, customers, right. But really, from a customer perspective, we really want to scale in that direction. But also, we are raising money as well. But after, get more airports in and raising money, we'll definitely be looking at time because you need more people to grow the company. But that'll be the third stage of things we're looking for.
Good stuff. Well, congratulations on all the success. One more time, the website is UnDelayApp.com. UnDelayApp.com.
Yep. That's the website. UnDelayApp.com.
All right. Well, Safir, thank you so much for sharing your story today. You're doing important work, and we appreciate you.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it, and I'm glad that you had me on the call today.
You got it. All right. This is Lee Cantor. We'll see you all next time on Atlanta Business Radio.